Latest data from the National Bureau of Statistics shows that Nigeria's headline inflation rate has increased to 24.23% in March 2025.
As of March 2025, Nigeria's inflation rate has shot up to 23.18%, with food inflation hitting even harder at 40.01%. This means that basic food items like bread, rice, and even garri have become too expensive for many families to afford. Look at the fuel situation. After the government removed the fuel subsidy in 2023, petrol prices went through the roof, going up over 500% in some areas. What used to cost about 180 naira per litre now costs nearly 970 naira in many filling stations, depending on where you are. This huge increase has made transport fares, delivering costs, and even market stall rentals go up, and customers are paying for all of it. Then there's our currency problem. In mid-2023, $1 was worth about 460 naira. Now in early 2025, it's nearly 1,600 naira per dollar according to the official market rates. That's a drop of approximately 70% since May 2023. This means that importers now need almost 3 times as much naira to bring in the same goods, which is why everything from electronics to toothpaste suddenly feels like a luxury. The ripple effect has been rising food costs, sky-high fuel prices, a weaker currency, and widespread food shortages. Experts are warning that by the end of 2025, as many as 33.1 million Nigerians could face serious food shortages. In a country with over 200 million people, that's nearly 1 in every 6 Nigerians. So the question I've been thinking about is this: how come while millions of Nigerians can barely put food on the table, some companies are making record profits? That's the story we are looking at today. From banks to telecom giants and cement makers to sugar producers, these businesses are somehow sailing through Nigeria's economic storm and coming out richer than ever. But what does this mean for you and I, the rest of us? While many Nigerians struggle with high prices and money worries, the country's major banks are reporting profits like never before. These big differences raises questions about how Nigeria's financial sector works and its role in the bigger economic picture. According to recent reports from the Punch newspaper, 5 of Nigeria's top banks, Zenith Bank, GTCO, UBA, Stanbic IBTC, and Fidelity Bank, made a combined post-tax profit of 3.317 trillion naira for the full year 2024, despite the harsh economic conditions. Looking at individual banks, UBA's profit after tax rose by 26.14% to 766.6 billion naira, up from 607.7 billion naira in 2023. Zenith Bank recorded a post-tax profit of 1.03 trillion naira, showing a 52.5% increase from the previous year's 676.9 billion naira. GTCO posted an impressive 1.017 trillion naira profit, an 88.4% jump from 539.6 billion naira in 2023. Experts point out that much of these gains come from currency devaluation. Many banks hold dollar-denominated assets, which become more valuable in naira terms when the local currency weakens. But financial analysts caution that this doesn't reflect real economic growth. It's mostly paper profit from the naira's decline. Another major factor boosting banks' profits is their investment in government securities like treasury bills, which offer high returns. The Central Bank of Nigeria has raised interest rates to 27.75%, which makes this investment more profitable for banks while making loans more expensive for businesses and individuals. What's particularly striking is the contrast between banking sector performance and the rest of the economy. Economic analysts note that Nigeria's economic resilience is being driven by just 3 sectors: banking, oil and gas, and telecoms. But these contribute very little to job creation. It's a stark contradiction that banks are making record profits while businesses are shutting down and Nigerians struggle with high inflation. These huge profits haven't gotten noticed by the government. There are concerns about possible exploitation and whether it's right to make such gains when many citizens are struggling. Since 2023, at least 10 multinational companies have either shut down or relocated from Nigeria, citing currency volatility, rising operational costs, and economic uncertainty. GlaxoSmithKline, Equinor, and Unilever Nigeria are among the notable exits. The stark contrast is visible in everyday life. By 2023, a 50 kg bag of cement cost around 2,000 to 3,000 naira, but today the price has surged to around 10,000 naira. This means that even someone earning what seems like large salary finds their purchasing power significantly reduced. Money's true value lies in what it can buy, not just its nominal figure. While the banking sector's profits show its strengths, they also highlight the gaps in Nigeria's economy. As banks thrive, many other industries, especially manufacturing and farming, continue to struggle, showing the need for better economic reforms to ensure that everyone benefits from growth. While millions of Nigerians are cutting back and fighting to survive day by day, some parts of the economy are booming. Nigeria's telecommunications sector is one of those sectors that has stayed strong. As of early 2025, there are 219 million active mobile subscribers, according to the Nigerian Communications Commission. This shows a recovery from the decline during the SIM card registration restriction a few years ago. MTN Nigeria, the market leader, still dominates with over 84 million subscribers, and its early 2025 results showed 1 trillion naira in revenue, up by 40.5% from last year. Its profit after tax reached 133.7 billion naira. The reason for this, well, I believe that Nigerians are spending more on data, digital services, and mobile money despite having less money to spend. Services like the MTN's mobile money platform have become essential for many people. Airtel Africa also did well, especially in Nigeria, which remains its biggest and most profitable market. Its strategy of offering affordable data packages with voice and financial services has helped it gain more customers, especially in small urban areas. Telecom companies have mainly benefited from the increased need for digital connection, especially among remote workers, online sellers, and students. With Nigerians' young people increasingly relying on internet access for work and entertainment, these companies are cashing in. It's not just traditional banks making a killing. Financial technology companies like OPay, PalmPay, and MoneyPoint are also reporting impressive growth in transactions, customers, and revenues. These platforms have become essential for many small businesses and individuals, offering ease of use, low cost, and fast payments. According to a 2024 report, over 64% of adult Nigerians now have access to some form of financial services, up from just 56% in 2020. Digital inclusion is quickly becoming a moneymaker, and investors are taking notice of it. However, the performance of the real sector, particularly manufacturing, has been mixed. While some companies are thriving, others are barely surviving due to rising costs, foreign exchange scarcity, and poor infrastructure. Take Lafarge Africa for instance. Its early 2025 results showed a 738% increase in profit before tax, rising from 8.71 billion naira to 73.11 billion naira. This was driven by the booming cement market, a sector that is protected from foreign exchange problems because it uses local raw materials. On the flip side, many medium-sized manufacturing companies are closing down or cutting back operations. The Manufacturers Association of Nigeria reports that 767 manufacturing firms closed down between 2023 and 2025 due to unbearable production costs and import restrictions. The food processing sector is also seeing uneven results. BUA Foods reported a 124% jump in profits to 125.28 billion naira in early 2025, thanks to strong sales of fortified sugar and flour. Meanwhile, Dangote Sugar Refinery recorded its highest ever quarterly revenue of 213.93 billion naira, yet lost 23.65 billion naira due to spiraling production costs and foreign exchange related debt. While the boardrooms of these companies celebrate, everyday Nigerians face a different reality. The poverty rate stands at 38.9% according to the National Bureau of Statistics, with over 95 million Nigerians living on less than $2 a day. Unemployment and underemployment remain high, with job losses common in sectors like construction, retail, and small-scale manufacturing. There's a growing gap between corporate Nigeria and average citizens. As a few sectors thrive, millions continue to fall through the cracks, fueling resentment and calls for more inclusive economic policies. The stark contrast between record-breaking corporate profits and deepening hardship for ordinary Nigerians has left many wondering, how can two realities exist side by side in the same economy? According to economic experts, this paradox comes from Nigeria's uneven economic structure. Certain sectors like telecoms, banking, and consumer goods are structured to benefit even in times of inflation, while households and small businesses bear the brunt of rising costs. In other words, some businesses have the power to set prices, hold foreign currency, or have size advantages and let them pass on cost or even profit from them, while others sink. Despite the current squeeze, there is some hope for the broader economy. The International Monetary Fund projects that Nigeria's economy will grow by 3.2% in 2024 and 3.4% in 2025. The World Bank similarly estimates modest growth, citing improvements in fiscal reforms and a rebound in oil production as contributing factors. But experts warn that this growth may not translate into better living conditions unless it includes everyone. One potential game changer is the Dangote refinery, which finally began limited production in January 2025 after years of delays. With a refining capacity of 650,000 barrels per day, it's Africa's largest. If successfully ramped up, it could reduce Nigeria's dependence on imported petrol, ease foreign exchange pressure, and lower domestic fuel prices over time. However, its impact will depend on how efficiently it runs its pricing policy and support from regulators. Other reforms, such as unifying exchange rates and digital tax policy, aim to bring long-term financial discipline, but their short-term effects have been painful for most Nigerians, especially the middle and lower classes. These successful companies shows us something important. There are still major opportunities in our economy, and that is the truth, even during tough times. Instead of complaining about rising prices or economic hardship, more Nigerians should be asking, how can I start a business that solves today's problems? The same challenges creating difficulties for most people are creating massive profits for those who have positioned themselves correctly. Looking at the banking sector, telecommunications, and even parts of manufacturing, they are all thriving despite the economic situation. This isn't about luck, it's about seeing opportunities where others see obstacles. These success stories prove that with the right business model and strategic thinking, Nigerians can build profitable enterprises even in challenging conditions. So the message is clear. Stop waiting for economic conditions to improve and start thinking like an entrepreneur. Every economic crisis creates new gaps in the market. The question isn't whether opportunities exist. They clearly do. Nigeria needs more business owners and fewer complainers. The time to start building your own success story is now. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.